Hello, golden beings, and welcome back to another beautiful episode with yours truly, Gia. And if you are new here and you don't know who I am and what I do, I am a clear channel for Mother Agua and the Marcadians. And if you would like to work with me more and learn more about who Marcadians are and who is Mother Agua, all the links are below in the description box to all my social media handles and my website. Okay, now that we have the formalities out of the way, I'm going to go into my beautiful topic of today, which is going to be shame. And this is something that I had to kind of sit with. I got I actually have been receiving downloads regarding the frequency of shame for months now, because it's something that I had to really unfold, dissect, and remove out of my body as well, just because growing up, I couldn't do anything without being shamed. Like I couldn't pick a color without being shamed about it. I couldn't pick an outfit without being shamed about it. I couldn't talk without being shamed about it. Like the shame was really, really there. And it was, of course, being done by the adults in my environments. Shame is a great motivator to build a life that you do not like. And by this, what I mean is, oftentimes you'll find when you are truly tapped into your intuition and you are desiring to be a certain way and you make choices aligned to those desires, many people around you will have the hardest time accepting and understanding what you're doing and why you're doing it because they're not wired like that. Their blueprints are unique. And oftentimes, especially if we are part of the matrix, well, we're all a part of the matrix, but if we're not mindful about who we're surrounding ourselves with, you'll see a lot of clash happening against that because there's no openness to accepting who you truly are. And many people still till this date do not understand that as an individual, you are very, very unique. You have your own design, your own path and purpose, and your way of being will be completely different from their way of being. And this includes your parents, this includes siblings, this includes spouses, partners, co-workers, everything. But still, in our society, people expect you to conform, constantly conform. And when you don't do it, they shame you into doing it. They shame you so their agenda can flourish. And oftentimes, when we're happening is, and we're not mindful of the shaming frequency, we're not mindful of what this situation or person may be doing and impacting you, we embrace that shame and we make it our life. Like we really make it a belief system. We start getting programmed to believe it, and we start living our life according to a external agenda that is not really helping us in any way or form set a foundation for a successful life because it's taking us away from who we really are. And the reason why my guides really wanted me to channel this and put this out for the public to have, access to this information is simply because to provoke thoughts. Because a lot of times I find, even in clients, or I'm just out having a conversation with strangers, there's so much shame. I'm like, why is this person so ashamed? People will apologize 10 times when they say something. Oh, like for example, I'll give you an example. The other day, where was I actually that I were at the mall. I was at the mall. I was doing a quick shop, run, and I bumped into this beautiful lady at the shop I was in, and she was carrying a Starbucks cup in her hand. And I was looking at scarves for my dad actually, and I couldn't tell like what the material was. For some reason, I thought she worked there. So I turned around and said, "Hey, excuse me, could you help me out find this certain material?" And she giggled and said, "Oh, I'm not an employee." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. And I had a reason to apologize. I misunderstood her. She gets in a conversation with me and she's like, oh, it's okay. I can still help you out. I've been shopping at this store for a long time and whatever. So she helped me out. She told me, she's like, you should get this quality and, should get this length and so forth. She actually started really helping me out. So I appreciate it so much. So I thanked her so much. And she said, I love your hair. What do you do? How do you grow it? How do you maintain it? So I started telling her all my tips and tricks. And of course, all my tips and tricks are spiritual. Yeah, there's oiling the hair, there's a certain shampoo involved, but I love my hair and I tell it that I love it. And I ground my hair with Mother Earth every night. And, I hear the whispers of my ancestors and so forth. And I told her about it because she was so open to listening to me. And not once did I apologize sharing these stories. I not once say, oh, you may not understand hair oiling because you don't, you're not Indian. So I'm sorry, but this is how, like, I did not start any sentence with the word I am sorry. She started maybe like 20 sentences with saying, oh, I'm sorry, but I feel like this. Oh, I'm sorry, but I think this. She even apologized to me for having Starbucks cup in her hand because she clearly, like, by end of the conversation, she found out I was a channel and what kind of work I do and everything, right? And she apologized for me because she apologized to me, sorry, for having a Starbucks cup. And I was like, why are you saying sorry to me? She's like, oh, it's probably not aligned with your morals because, Starbucks is supporting, all these activities. I'm going to call them activities just for, YouTube's sake here. And I said, yeah, well, yes, but I'm not judging you. And that really caught her off guard. She just looked at me and said, what? Like, but like, aren't you upset that they're doing this? And I'm like, I'm very upset. I'm like, yes, I am upset. Of course I'm upset. I don't support whatever, those activities are. I don't support that cause at all. So therefore, I have decided that I'm not going to support them. So I don't buy from them. And again, she was kind of speechless. She's like, oh, okay. So she's like, me holding a Starbucks cup is not bothering you. I said, no, it's not. I'm like, I don't know your story. I don't know where you live. I don't know where you come from. I don't know what your reasoning is to have Starbucks. But the other side is, I really don't care to know your reasons either, because again, as an individual, I'm sure you are well aware, clearly you are well aware what you're doing, and therefore I'm okay with your decision. Like, I'm not triggered by your decisions. She was like, oh my goodness, thank you. She's like, I actually don't support Starbucks at all. This was the only coffee shop by my children's school that I can get today. So I had to make a stop for coffee in order to save my life and get functioning. She's like, I don't support Starbucks, but she's like, people have been giving me weird looks the entire like past hour in the mall. Like, people have literally like changed the direction, like the sidewalks, like in the mall, like the ways. They've changed like their lane, or they're giving her like a side eye or dirty look, and all, they're giving her these weird vibes because she's holding a Starbucks cup. But she said, I literally bought it because I was so desperate. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like, again, I'm not looking for an explanation. And even in that, she apologized to me. And I'm like, no, like, you're making decisions for you. And I'm not triggered by that. And I'm not going to label you and judge you because I feel like it's something. Now, I'm not saying you should oversee everything. Like, you should just like, oh, like whatever, like totally like dismiss the world, blah, blah, blah. Anger's good. Sacred rage is good. That is your Agni. That's your inner fire, your inner goddess, your inner Kalima that wants to come out and give justice. But there's a sacred way of doing sacred rage. And I feel like that's where people are getting confused. They don't know how to express their thoughts, opinions, and their way of being without being triggered. or without feeling ashamed for being themselves. I'm going to let that sit there for a minute. If you in your life are going through and you're constantly judging and labeling others, and then when you're speaking, you're saying, oh, I'm sorry, and you're trying to over explain and over reason. And by the way, when you do this, you're doing this for yourself. You're actually not doing it for the person. You're doing it for yourself. You're trying to convince yourself of something. You're operating from shame. And shame and guilt go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. And by the way, when this woman left, complete stranger, never met her, beautiful woman, she gave me the biggest hug and thanked me for, what I shared with her. I said, absolutely, of course. This is common sense. What do you mean? Common sense. Like, we're all allowed to be who we need to be, right? So you don't need to explain yourself out of shame. And if you are that individual that's using a lot of words constantly, you're constantly in a conversation, you're constantly having an inner battle, I highly, highly recommend you take a moan bath. What is a moan bath? Moan bath is actually, now I don't have the exact dates and times and details of this, but I practice this myself. I actually do a moan bath every single day for the first 3 hours every morning. I don't say a single word the first 3 hours that I'm awake, including affirmations. This is something new I've started. I've been doing it for about this is my third week in it. The last 2 weeks. It's life-changing. It's life-changing. And what Moan Varth is, it's actually from India. I don't know what religion it's from. To be honest, my mom told me about it, and she basically explained it to me. It's just a vow of silence. That's all it means. You're taking a vow of silence to gain clarity, to purify your throat, and to purify your spirit. Because often what's happening is, and we know this, I speak a lot about this. I speak a lot about this. If you heard my podcast, my posts, that words are just spell casting. Words don't make any sense. They're just there to make labels and whatever, to comprehend the physical functioning part of our brains. They don't actually have a meaning or a frequency, especially in the English language. And that's actually why um, I prefer speaking my mother tongue Punjabi over English. Like me and my partner, we're both born and raised in Canada, but we speak to each other in Punjabi because the frequency is much higher of the words. They resonate better and so forth. But when you are speaking, you have to use these words that come from, the matrix, the spell casting they've done on our words to label, to explain, to reason, when none of that is necessary. So when you do a vow of silence, your moan birth, you just cut all that garbage out. You cut all that nonsense out, and then you have just the space to be. You have the space to exist with your spirit. You have the space to exist with the universe. So, of course, what's a byproduct of that? What's a consequence of that? It's clarity. It's clarity. You're not reasoning, you're not explaining, you're not justifying, you're not judging. And most importantly, also in the physical body, what I've noticed doing the vow of the silence is that my body, my metabolism has fastened. It's so quick in digestion. I'm not bloated at all. I feel more oxygen in my body. I feel like I can breathe deeper because I'm not spending so much physical energy in speaking. I'm giving the energy back to my body to focus on what really matters. Removing toxins, fastening absorption of nutrients, removing toxins, oxygen flow, blood circulation. I'm giving my entire body a reset. And if you want to amplify this, You can also have a focus. And I know a lot of individuals, and there's many retreat centers actually as well, where you go there for days, like 7 days, 12 days, 4 days, and you don't speak at all. It's silence. You don't speak at all for those days, those hours, and so forth. And I, oh, okay, thank you. I just got confirmation that that is where I'm going. That is where I'm gonna probably end up at a retreat somewhere where I can't speak for days, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And also think about it, right? You're using the words of this spell casting of the Matrix. Um, so you're vibrating at that frequency. You're resonating with those words frequency constantly. So when you're not using words, you remove frequencies also out of the body. So it purifies your entire frequency and being as well. So that's also a very beautiful fact there. And you're removing shame, of course, shame, guilt, fear, explanation, all of that. But where in your life are you feeling guilty? Where are you acting out of guilt? And wherever you're acting out of guilt, the background frequency, I can 100% guarantee you, is shame. It's shame. You've been shamed to feel so bad about something that to you it's been translated as guilt. And now you're operating from that programming. And this is not to judge you or shame you, it's simply to make you aware and provoke thought on how to undo it, how to release it, and how to improve yourself for ascension. Because, we are in beautiful times on planet Earth where, gold is available to us and we can see it, feel it, embrace it. And I would like you to do that. So I'm simply just giving you tips and tools so you can get there on your journey with a lot of ease and grace. And you don't have to be alone in this process because um, the universe did not put you on a planet with 8 billion other people so you can do things alone. Trust me, you're not meant to do things alone. Just believe me on that part, okay? Believe me on that part. You're meant to be nourished and celebrated, and you're meant to dance and sing, with the land, with your brothers and sisters, your friends, your spirit, everything. So, yeah, vow of silence. And where is shame driving you? And where are you giving shame? Not only are you receiving it, but where are you giving it as well? Where is your judgment filter happening all the time? How are you dressing? Dressing's a big one. Dressing's a big one. We're often dressing because here's the thing. Our avatar, our beautiful body and our being, it represents us. It's a full external image of our spirit. Do you look like your spirit? Or do you look like, something your spouse told you to, your mom told you, your dad told you told yourself, bully at school told you to, oh, you have a big stomach, don't wear a crop top. It's not appropriate. You have to look modest all the time, cover your cleavage. You have cellulite, don't wear shorts. All these silly things, right? Like these just silly, silly, silly things. So where are you dressing? Well, not even dressing because we're not playing Monopoly. What is the word? Adorning yourself because you're in love. You j'adore yourself. As they say in French, you love yourself. So where are you j'adoring yourself? And how are you doing that? What are you doing that, for and who and what? Because it does start, because the brain wants to see something, right? The physical part of us, the human in us, wants to really see it and it wants to feel it. And in order to be fully embodied in that, dressing's a major component. Adorning is a major component. Your appearance is a major component. I've actually already, for myself personally speaking, glasses feel really weird on my face. They've been feeling weird for the last like 6 months. I feel like my face is like small and the glasses just feel heavy and bulky on me. And I feel I'm carrying extra weight all the time. on my face. And I just feel like it's very unnecessary for me. So I'm actually planning on getting LASIK done sometime this year. I don't know when that will be. It'll be, sort of divine perfection for me. But I'm planning on getting LASIK done and removing this because it does not, Mother Agua is not cool with it. What can I say? She wants to be free. She wants no limitations, no capacities, which is how we are meant to be. We're all meant to be like that, by the way. I just want to let everyone know that don't hold back. So when you are adorning yourself and you feel like you should wear all your rings, go for it. There's no better day to wear them than today. You wear them today. Okay. Well, this has been a deep and a fun episode. And thank you so much for joining me. I would really, really appreciate from bottom of my heart if you can leave me a review, a thumbs up, a subscribe, or even DM me on Instagram on how you are finding these episodes and these podcasts. And if you're having any personal insights that come through, I would love to hear them as well. I do love to engage with my community. So I actually don't have a social media manager at the moment because of that. Because I like to really answer from my heart to my tribe. So if you do send me a DM, it will be answered by me, not by AI or an assistant. Um, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I think that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to give gratitude. Um, because I was channeling and I'm like kind of coming back in my body slowly. So thank you so much for being a part of this episode and following me on my journey. Like, comment, subscribe, and all the links to connect with me further are linked below in the description box. And have a very, very blessed day.